Hey, this is Matthew,
And this is Vinny, the wrestling figure historian.
and today we're looking at some more figures from WWE Retro Series 10. We're looking at Big Daddy Cool.
The Mack truck of the WWE, Diesel.
Stay tuned, we're going to open this guy up and see if he's worth your money or not. Welcome to Into the Ring, Out of the Box. As we mentioned, we're looking at Big Daddy Cool today, Diesel. This is from WWE Mattel's Retro Series 10.
Which is actually, as of right now, the final series of the WWE Retros from Mattel.
So we learned at San Diego Comic-Con that they're on ice for an indefinite time period. We don't really know when it's going to be taken out of ice.
Or if it's ever going to be taken out of ice, for that matter. So, it's right now all up in the air.
So it's kind of fun that this is basically the final series. And unlike with the WWF Hasbro's these are based on, we didn't get a Diesel, and now we're getting him.
Which we originally was supposed to get a Diesel as part of their last series.
Yeah.
But I believe their contracts ran up, and they didn't have the time to produce it. Or the financial needs. I don't know. Probably Zack Ryder knows best.
Yes, he doesn't. Speaking of, Zack Ryder actually owns the prototype head for that Diesel.
Yes, and I saw that and I was like, holy crap, how the hell did he find that?
Which actually bears a striking resemblance to this one here, in fact.
Yes, to the one that they use, which I'll already give Mattel kudos for trying to harken back to the Hasbro days. Granted, as we'll discuss later, there was a little bit slight difference to what Hasbro wanted to do.
Yeah. So here's a look at the guy in the box. You can see it's just that traditional same packaging we've seen all the time. So something we noted, by the way, with all of Series 10, this is like a first. And it's kind of almost like a hint of the downfall.
An omen of what was things to come, yes.
You'll notice on the front, Diesel is not really actually doing anything.
Just posing.
Yeah. Normally in that little spot, they'll show them doing their move to somebody or just doing something.
Yeah.
All of Series 10, they're just hanging out there, just, look at me, I'm a guy. I pick things up, put things down.
Yeah, basically. Now we'll take a look at the back. Accompanying Diesel with Series 10, we have the Junkyard Dog, Awoken Matt Hardy, and Elias. And as you mentioned before, even to show the action feature, it's just Diesel by himself, not doing it against somebody. We could already start to tell there was some lazy packaging going on here. They're starting to cut corners now.
Like they couldn't even afford to take action photos of the toys or use rendering or anything.
Essentially.
Yeah.
So, but it is your traditional Hasbro style packaging. Included inside the packaging is a code to use for the WWE Mayhem app, which we'll probably be showing you guys a little bit later in the video.
Yeah, so stay tuned for that.
So with that in mind, let's pop his bubble.
And open him up!
So now let's take a look at Diesel out of the box. It does have his classic Diesel attire, which was the simple black singlet under the his leather pants. Now, oddly enough, this is one of the few Mattel figures of Diesel that actually has an elbow pad, because he always had an elbow pad while wrestling, but yet Mattel never gives it to us.
It's kind of weird.
Yep. Like the prototype of the Hasbro Diesel, this Diesel also comes with sunglasses worn on his face.
So the faces are very similar, as we mentioned, but just some differences here and there, just how they sculpted it.
Yeah, you could tell, this is now where you could start to tell the difference between the Mattel sculpts and the Hasbro sculpts. Hasbro at that time was still looking for that cartoony look, which actually fit the Hasbro figures well. Mattel was going more towards the actual look, but still works. One thing I do have to mention, the action feature, which was supposed to be given to the Hasbro, was actually the Papa Shango body, which was a punching feature. Which, oddly enough, Roman Reigns is still the only one now to have that feature.
Yeah, well, it's the only guy that really does the Superman punch kind of thing.
Yep.
Saving it just for him.
Basically.
Nobody can steal his finish.
Nobody could steal his finish, or his action feature. I won't lie, I do like the body of Diesel. It's a nice... Actually, compared to all the other figures, he's actually taller, so they kind of kept him a bit in scale.
He does actually size up, and like we have a Zack Ryder here. In fact, you can see he is a little bit taller than the Zack Ryder.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of peeks out a little bit. It's the smallest bit, but he is taller. He's bigger.
So, now, sometimes we do nitpick on how simple these attires are, but with Diesel, it works. Because, again, when he first debuted in the WWF, his attire was minimal. So, this actually works.
And it's actually not super simplistic. Like, you might look like it's just a black figure, But this leather pants are actually a new sculpt we noticed because he's got fringe on his pants there on the bottom.
The lower half, yes.
So it's actually some new pieces there for Diesel.
Mm-hmm. Now, I am going to say one thing. His action feature. I'm not so thrilled with it upon looking at it.
I mean, yeah, there's a few things that bug me about this figure, too. That's even before we get to the action feature. Like, mileage may vary when it comes to paint, but this one here, this is going to be universal. He's got the two-tone paint thing going on.
Yeah, you could tell it's not properly done.
It happens with a lot of toys, to be fair. A lot of Mattel toys typically do this because the mold will be one thing for the arms, it'll be painted for the chest, whereas it won't be like, just straight up plastic normally. So there's reasons why it happens, but it's just like very notable here on Diesel.
This, I would have preferred that if that was the case, give him a black body for the mold and then just paint the skin as best as they can. But I guess they're doing it this way because they want to give that shiny look to it. But you are right. That paint job is not so great.
And this particular figure too, you can see there's a lot of just chipping and mispaints here and there. So
that could be with just this figure in general, but hopefully it's not like that across the entire line.
Point is, just be careful with your retro figures, especially because they are very quick to get sloppy with their paints.
Yes, and once again, this is now where we're starting to tell that it's Mattel's been cutting corners.
I almost feel like we should go back and look at Series 1 again. Just admire how different they were.
Yeah, when Series 1, for the most part, they were actually paying a lot of attention to details with their figures.
The glory days of the retro series.
Yes. As much as some of those figures stunk when we first reviewed them, it's now actually those figures were starting to grow on me. Minus the Warrior. I still say the Warrior was one of the worst figures of that entire series. Now with the action feature. It is very minimal. The range.
That is a heck of a power bomb.
Yeah, exactly. It's supposed to be a power bomb.
A hornswoggle bomb.
Basically, it's like... Now, yes, you can adjust the arms, but I never liked doing the adjustment because I'm always scared you actually might snap something.
Yeah.
And
we're not talking Slim Jims.
No.
But even then, I mean, it looks like it should work. It looks like it should be alright.
It should work because the one thing I will give Mattel over Hasbro with a lot of their action features, there is a fair amount of strength.
But again, it is limited range of motion here.
Yeah.
So let's get our favorite test dummy out here. Woo, woo, woo. Now let's see how the power bomb works. Set him up. Not bad. That limited range of motion, you can really tell, though, makes it weak.
But the real way it should look is just a strike. And not because of that range of motion, not so strong.
No, it's pretty weak.
This is now where, again, Mattel's cost cutting or whatever, it's really coming into play. So
the head trauma on Zack Ryder today.
Like there was that much left in his head to begin with.
Ouch.
Sorry, Zach.
Jeez.
Your figure sucks. As mentioned before, it did come with a code for the WWE Mayhem app, which if we're not mistaken, 5 people can use it at once. So grab that code as fast as you can.
First come, first serve. And hey, if you get the code, let us know in the comments. And even better, go ahead and like this video, share it, and subscribe to the channel to see all sorts of wrestling content as well as all the other things we do here on Nerd News Today.
So yeah, with that all said, you know what? This is a possible figure to add to your collection. It's not that strong, but if you do have a bit of the nostalgia for the old school Hasbros and what could have been, I would say get this figure.
Yeah, as for me, like I didn't really grow up watching Diesel. Like I basically got out of wrestling around when he first came in, basically. So I wasn't really. I was kind of knew who he was, but at that point my channel stopped carrying superstars. So I never really saw Diesel's rise to fame. I have no real connection to him, and I was gonna skip this figure if not for trying to complete the line.
And again, then I would say pass.
It was an easy pass for me, honestly, until I was gonna complete the line.
This figure is one of those. If you have the nostalgia for it, go for it. If you don't, you could actually pass this.
Unfortunately,
this is an on-the-fence figure for me.
Yeah.
So
on the edge.
On the edge, living on the edge.
So I'm Matthew.
And I'm Vinny, the wrestling figure historian.
Stay tuned for more wrestling toy reviews coming very soon. And more head trauma from Zack Ryder.
Wow.
That was a good powerbomb.
Yeah.